I'm gonna start doing the podcast more here now. I know a lot more people. I can invite a guest every week. It's gonna be cool. This one was supposed to be for Yannick's channel. He wanted to ask me some questions to get clips for his viewers, but it ended up being a pretty nice conversation, so I'll just put it out there. Why not? I'm way more comfortable in front of the camera, and it's a bit more about my own story instead of the first one. I was still pretty uncomfortable and, stressed out when on camera. And this one is way more comfortable, so I'm just gonna put it online. It's a really nice setting. So this one is a bit more about my journey and me talking a bit more, but I want the podcast to be about the journey of the guest, of course. Talking less about my story. Anyway, I'm still writing my story. It's not that interesting yet. So it's gonna be more about the story of the guest and their journey, either e-commerce or agency guests. Or if there is an exception, someone else is very interesting. And yeah, basically talk about their journey, what they are going through. Hopefully to learn something from it for myself, and also in that way for you guys, because you're probably in a similar point at your journey. That's basically what it's going to be about. So keep an eye on the channel. We'll still do this journey every week. The podcast is just going to be extra. Hopefully you can see us good. I think so.
I think so. So I have a surprise for you, and you don't even like it, I think.
What?
Okay, let me take it.
I didn't know if you were actually going to order them or not.
Tristan came back to Bali, but he doesn't like coconuts.
No. Why you drink it like this, no?
So, guys, to give you a little backstory, Tristan and I met, I think, 7 months ago.
Yeah.
You were in Bali, I was in Bali, and we met
on a random ecom meeting.
Yeah, random ecom meeting. And from that moment, we kept in touch. Mm-hmm. And you went to Dubai after a few months, and we decided to just see each other weekly in a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a little bit more experienced with the agency within the agency space. You have more experience within the content space, so we just shared some information every week. But now Tristan came to Bali, and he's living with us in the same villa.
Yeah.
So what we're doing instead of that meeting, and this is something I proposed to you yesterday, is let's just do a sit down every Tuesday or every Wednesday and just talk about the things that's on your mind, on my mind.
Yeah, so basically like a recap what's going on with the business.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, half of the time we were just talking shit, just like chit-chatting, and the other half was like actual...
Like the value exchange is just something that's
happens
an extra.
Naturally. Yeah, it happens. You're just having a conversation, right? And because you're focusing on like similar things, it's automatically, oh, you should do
but
this.
It's just a friendship, but we can trade some valuable information with each other.
So that's basically this. Entertainment and value.
Exactly. So in this first video, so as you guys know, Tristan helped me with creating this whole personal brand, and we're still working on it. But I did the 30-day challenge with you, and I think it's a very cool concept, and I definitely think a lot of people want to do this if this becomes a real offer.
Yeah.
But what I want to say is, so we talked about this to what people I want to talk to, like what
attract.
Yeah, who is my target audience? And in my first video, I told like I want to inspire my younger self, people who are a little bit, I don't know where to go in life, and I don't know. I think your story is very beautiful because 1 year ago your life was completely different, and I want to show the people like if you feel that you're not on the right place, not on the right path, you can just make a decision and turn your life around. And I don't know, I want to ask you if you can share that story, like where were you 1 year ago? And what did you do to transform your life completely and now living in fucking Dubai and Bali and all these beautiful places?
So 1 year ago exactly, I was back at my parents' house. I just turned 20. So when I was 17, 18, I moved out to Rotterdam for university. I went to Erasmus University. And then I stayed there for, I think, about 1.5 years. But I dropped out after like 3-4 months. But I decided to stay there. And that was when the whole COVID lockdown stuff was happening. And then, after 3 months of university, I was like, this is not for me. So I dropped out, and I had like a junior marketing job on the side in an e-commerce business.
But you're saying like I dropped out, but a lot of people are in that same situation and don't have the balls to drop out. Can you give a little backstory on what you were feeling and why you made that decision to do it, and if that was an easy decision or a hard decision or
Yeah, that's a good one. Because for me, it's just dropped out.
a decision.
Like, that's it.
Like,
Yeah.
But was it like snapping your fingers and you knew like, okay, I have to go away or have to go? Or what was the trigger to do something?
I just know, and still, I mean, if you check out my journey, I'm in the beginning of my journey, right? I have a long way to go. But I just knew very strongly that this was not going to help me to where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing business administration at a good university, but if I looked ahead, the path that would take you on, which is like some grad job as like a consultant, or it's not what I want. And what I want is to do very cool shit like next year, right? And not
not
like,
wait
I
4
don't
years.
wanna do this bullshit and then have to pretend. And it's also like not all of it. I mean, there is some people that do cool stuff with it, but most, if you look at the average, it's like not what I want. So then I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I didn't make any money. I made, I think, the first year after I dropped out, maybe maximum of 1,100 euros per month.
Yeah.
But I just knew that that wasn't gonna help me. So then the decision for me was easy. It was like, this is not gonna help me, so I don't do it. And then I didn't know what to do, but at least not the thing that's not gonna help me.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, what are you doing? Why are you, it's not that much work, just do it, this and that.
That's the society pressure.
Yeah, and then I was like, yeah, but I just didn't really, I don't know, I'm pretty stubborn. Like, if I have something in my head that's just, and that can sometimes be a good thing and sometimes a bad thing. You have to be like pretty flexible too, but in most things I'm like, this is my way.
But how can you deal with, for example, I don't know how flexible your parents were, but I think a lot of people who are in that same position, their parents are like, oh, no, you're going to finish your school and you're going to do this and you're going to do, and that's that society pressure everyone is getting. Like, how do you deal with that if that's a real thing?
Well, you have to understand that this comes from a good place. Like, your parents probably love you. Yeah. So this comes from a good place. So once you understand it, then you cannot blame your parents for their like pressures on you, because they just want the best for you, and because a lot of parents think that's the best way for you, that's what they want you to do, right? So I was never like to my parents mad at them or something before I dropped out, because they were I always like hinted at it, and then they were like, no. So we got in a few arguments. Yeah. I remember a few we had in the car. I was always like hinting at it, like, Mom, you know that like I'm not gonna do this for long, right? Nah. But I never took it personally, like I never did. And I knew that my parents are very flexible, like you said. My parents are, like my parents really, I'm the oldest, so it's all new, and they come from traditional families, so it is very hard for them.
Yeah, so they are pretty open-minded.
Yeah, but they are open-minded. And they see that the normal way is not gonna make us happy. And that's always what my parents say, we just want you to be happy. So they see that this normal route is not gonna make us happy. So then I was like, we had a few fights, but then I remember I was in a train back to Rotterdam after being at home, and I texted my parents like, hey, it's like done now, I'm just not gonna go anymore. And then we had a little conversation, and then I remember texting them like, I'm so grateful that you guys still support me. So they have always been very supportive.
What would you have done when your parents would say, Tristan, we love you till death, but you are going to finish your school, we are paying for it. This is the only thing you need to do, 4 years, and then you can do whatever you want. What would you do in that situation? Because I think 80 to 90% of the people are experiencing this.
Yeah, I would just not do it. Like, I chose not to go to school. Even when my parents and my friends, for instance, said I should, I just stopped going to school, and I had COVID. That was a good thing. For me, the school shut down as well. So at some point it was only online school.
So you could focus on.
So I just didn't go anymore. But I would just not go anymore and prove my parents that there is another way. So
or just make a proposal like, Mom and Dad, I skip school for 1 year, and I'm going to prove to you like.
Yeah, for instance, But I would not even say that. I'm a strong believer in lead by example. Yeah. So I would just show my parents that there is a different way, which is what I'm doing now, and then convince them. Like, I would not go into an argument when I haven't convinced them of anything. Makes sense. I'll just do it, and if after 5 years I'm a failure, then fine. But like, that's not gonna happen. No. So I'm just gonna show them that there is a different way, and now they're so supportive and happy and proud, you know. And especially, I have 2 little brothers, so I'm like the big brother, right?
Yeah.
And especially, it's even better for them, I think, my parents think, because they are both also not really molded for the regular system. So if I can show them and teach them a different way, it can be good for all of us. So I think they're only happy that I'm going down this path.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
I'm very aware of that.
Your parents sound
But
like
still,
lovely people.
Yeah, they are very lovely. I love them. But still, they were also like, you should go to school. But I persisted. Like if I'm like, oh yeah. If I'm like that, then maybe I would have stayed in school. But I just said, I'm quitting now, and
I
you
think
should just do what you want.
The only thing your parents want is to see you succeed in
the
life,
best for
right?
you,
And
right?
the most safe way is to just follow the path society has for you.
They think that's the best option.
Exactly. But I think you can show them that there's another way. And yeah, I think that's very cool that you did it like that. But okay, so that was the first step.
Yeah.
But instead of just dropping out of school and focus on your business, you decided to go to Bali with how much in your bank account?
Yeah, I had like 5K left, but this was like a year after. So there's like a year period.
Okay.
So when I dropped out of school, it was the end of 2021. And then the whole 2022, I was still, let's see, no, I think even the year before. So last year in August, I went to Bali. And the year before that was my first full year without school.
Okay.
So it was like 1.5 years without school. So what I did was I stayed in Rotterdam. When I moved there for uni, I was in a flat with like a friend from home. He was going to that school still while I dropped out. So that was also like interesting seeing like friends from like younger. We were all going the same or like a different way, and then at some point you start clashing a bit and stuff like that. But that's normal, and it's all good. Like I really love my friends from back home, and I'll always stay in contact with them. But I had about 1.5 years with COVID. I couldn't go anywhere. That was the whole period after I dropped out.
Yeah.
That's when I dropped out, the lockdowns just happened. So what I did is I worked this junior marketing job at home, and I basically had to design some things and do some social media marketing. It was very low effort, and I got paid, I think, like maybe 750 an hour, euros.
Yeah.
So this was like just enough to cover my rent and my food. And so in total, I was making maybe 1,100 bucks a month. And the 300-400 euros I had left I put into trying things. So for 1.5 years, I started a bunch of different dropshipping stores.
Yeah.
I did
Did you try
Yeah. That's how back when I started entrepreneurship at 14, I started dropshipping.
That's crazy.
But then I was like trying custom puzzles, and I tried to make a lighter brand. I tried to do all this different stuff. So that wasn't working for 1.5 years straight. And then at that point, I started doubting myself. So I was like, I dropped out of school. I'm trying all these things. Everyone thinks, what is he doing? I think, what am I doing? Because it's not working out. Like, what should I do?
I want to say something which, I don't know if you know the clip of A$AP Rocky, and he's saying like, since when is it not cool to try things?
Yeah.
I don't know how you experienced this when you first started out at 14 or 15.
Yeah.
What were the reactions of the people around you? Were they like,
I was getting low-key bullied for it.
And that's what A$AP Rocky is saying. Like, since when is it not cool to try?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I remember so distinctly.
Yeah. It takes balls to do it. Like, and you see the people who do it.
It's true.
They make it.
And my issue was also that I was 2 years younger in school.
Yeah.
So I was 2 years ahead. I graduated high school at 16 instead of 18, VWO. That's the high school level in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So when I was 14, I was in class with kids that were 16. And they were all also bigger and like older, right? I was the annoying young kid, right? And then I'm out there, like, school is not gonna help you. Look, I'm doing this.
I have a business.
Yeah, look at my dropshipping store. And they were just like, what the fuck, shit,
What the fuck are you
AliExpress,
doing?
you loser.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's funny looking back at it. But in the moment, of course.
You have a pool behind you now.
Yeah. And also, like, in the moment, of course, it is hard. Like, in hindsight, it's always fun. In hindsight, every hard time is interesting, but in the moment, it's not. But yeah, so that 1.5 year period, I was just trying things. I couldn't succeed, and I remember I was texting my mom like, should I maybe go to this? I was looking at I wanted to start a clothing brand, so I was like, maybe I should go to fashion school. I was really into Virgil at that point, Virgil Abloh and all his stuff. Listened to everything of him. And I had my brand already, Exchange Life, which I started before moving to Rotterdam when I was in the United States on exchange. So, but that wasn't working out, but there weren't any exchange students. It was COVID. Exchange students are traveling students. So nothing was working, and I knew Exchange Life is cool, but I don't know how to make it work, and I need to make some money, so yeah, I don't know what to do. And I was like texting my mom, this and that, like, should I go to this study, this? And then at some point, I told you as well, like, I found a few guys on YouTube, and they were also very, they just documented their entrepreneurial journey. That inspired me a lot. But they this guy said, if you want to meet people, you go to Bali. So I was there, listening to this podcast every week, listening to this video religiously, like on my own, in my room, coming back from the gym, just listening, taking every word like in. And then I was like, towards the end of 2022, so the beginning, that's when the end of 2021, that's when I was like, okay, I want to meet people, nothing is working out, I don't know what to do with the brand, I don't know anyone that can help me make it work, I don't know what the fuck to do. So what I did then was just like, all right, I'll just quit my job, I'll move back home, and I'll go to Bali. And maybe I'll meet people there that can make it work. So then what I did is I moved back home at the end of 2021. I kept my job until like a month or so before I left to Bali. And I just stayed at home. And I didn't have any money when I moved back home because I made like $1,100 a month, which I spent on rent, on food, and on trying drop shipping stores. So I basically spent those 4 or 5 months at home with my parents saving up those $1,100. So at the end I had like 5K left, like in savings, and I had my Bali ticket booked, and I just lived up to that moment, really isolated at my parents' house for like half a year, until in August I left to Bali, August last year, August 2022, and then I left to Bali, and then from there on, like, I went all in. So before I was still doing like school and then quit and then a job and then, but then I was like,
focus
all in, like
focus on
my
one
own
thing.
shit. Yeah, I'll just make it work. I don't know how.
You make it seem so easy and simple.
Yeah.
So I quit my job and I do this and I do this and I do. Was it really that simple on like how you were saying it, or? I know you're an overthinker as well.
Yeah,
you're in your head. So
yeah.
What were your thoughts at that moment, like when making that decision?
Well, I overthink, but this is for me a pretty.
It was obvious.
Yeah, it was obvious, and it was also logical to. It's easy to. Logically make it make sense. So what I did is in my head I overthink, right? But then I was like, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? I go to Bali, I come back after 6 months because my savings run out.
This is it.
And then I do a job again, and I go to Bali again.
What do you
until
have
I
to
make
lose?
it make work.
Yeah,
right? I have nothing to lose.
Exactly.
Nothing. Like, and I don't. That's also something you need to put in your head. I don't need anything. Like, I don't need anything.
No.
I eat the same thing literally for already 3 years. Like,
chicken with onion.
Chicken and
This
rice.
guy eats
For
chicken
lunch.
with
Onion and some bread. I eat for lunch. At night I eat a steak or something. I don't need anything.
No.
So I came here. I stayed in really shitty guest houses. I was really uncomfortable when I stayed here. To the first time in Bali, I was like, bed bugs and all this. Oh,
I think
nasty
your
shit.
Body Factory subscription was
more
expensive
I think,
than your
my rent.
than your monthly rent.
Yeah. But it was horrible. I would never go. Oh. But I would though. You see, I would go back. But because I don't need anything. Like let's say all of this gets erased, I'll go back to my parents, try again, do this new thing, go somewhere else again. Like I cannot lose. Like I cannot lose.
Exactly. But so I think a lot of people have all these scenarios in their head. Like, if I quit my job and I go, for example, to Bali or to a different country, then maybe this happens, or I fail, and everybody you're saying it to are saying like, yeah, but what if this happens, or what if this happens, or this or this? It's like all doom scenarios.
Yeah.
But you made that decision. So you made that decision last year.
Yeah.
How did it turn out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still figuring that out, right?
Yeah, but
I'm
what happened in those 6 to 8 months?
So August last year, it was finally time, like after being isolated at home, to like go into the world, and I was full of anticipation. Like Bali is a place to meet people, and then I arrived here, and it was the most uncomfortable 4 months of my life. Like I've never been so stressed. I was happy after 4 months to leave, but it did a lot of good, and I needed to leave to like settle down a bit, to then be ready to go again. So what happened was that I went here. Every day there's so much to do. Like there's so much people to talk to. There's so much to do here and there, and then also doing work on the side. Like I didn't have even an offer to sell people with my agency. My brand was still failing, and I convinced along the way some people that my brand had potential, that then helped me build on my brand. And I convinced some people that I knew something about social media, so then I got them as a client.
Yeah.
So it was very stressful because my savings were running out, and I had to loan some money from my parents. And I was like, I loaned a few $1,000s, and I was like, Mom, I think this is it. I need a few thousand more, and then it's my breakthrough. And which, again, supportive parents, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't much in the bigger picture, but that few thousand for me, it's
meant the world.
so big, because that meant I could stay, and I had a budget for the brand to advertise and try some things out. So, yeah, I met people. I met those awesome people that I was thinking about meeting. I met you, I met a bunch of other people. I got my business going. I met my first clients for my agency. I did run through the wall of my brand because I was at a wall, but these people that I met helped me through that. So then I was able to see the bigger picture and more.
Yeah.
And yeah, but all of that did come with a lot of stress because it's so much inputs every day. You're trying to make some money, and you're trying this, and you're working, and I also want to go out to all these places because I want to see if this is the right person to stay around or not, or like, so I was like all over the place, all over working, then till 1 a.m. and then falling asleep and then forgetting something, waking up in the middle of the night, and then yeah, but I did make it work. It was very, again, very. If I didn't go to Bali, I wouldn't have made it work in such a short time period. It was very essential for the journey, and I needed as a step back afterwards, and to now come back a bit more chilled and organized. And
yeah, and the beautiful thing is, if you look back in 6 years at these stressful situations, you're getting goosebumps.
Yeah,
because
probably.
That's where I don't know. That's where the pain is. That's where the emotion is. Because if you think back and you I don't know, you have a good agency and your brand is doing well, and you look back at those stressful moments, you're like, damn, I had to do that to come here, and I'm so happy I did it. Yeah. But most people will stop there. Yeah. So if it gets too stressful or they get too much pressure, they will stop and they will get back in their safe space.
Do you ever have that a lot? Like very stressful moments?
Of course.
Yeah.
Every business owner has it.
But how do you deal with it? Like you just push through it, or?
Well, the first 3 years of my journey, I almost quit. Like I almost got a job. I never got a job.
Yeah, but almost.
Almost, because we were running a startup. We didn't have those fancy business models back 10 years ago. So we were running a startup, and we had investors and stuff, and it was just not making enough money to give me a salary for the first 3 years. We only were investing. Yeah. And at one point, until my parents said, like, we are supportive, but there is an end line. Like we can't do this for always. Like, and then I was like, fuck, I need to get a job. Yeah. And then something happened, and then we got our first successful business. Like, I don't know, diamonds are made under pressure, right? It's a cliche, but it really
I think
is.
So.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to be tested for pressure anyway. At some point, you need to like push your limits a bit, and also, if you have no choice, you are forced to figure it out. That's how I felt. Like I felt, because for me, I don't know why, but I take everything very personal. Yeah. Not everything, but like very specific things. So for me, there was no other way than making it work. Like I would not have.
No plan B.
No, like I did ask my parents for that few thousand, but that was because I knew exactly what I was gonna do with it. Like I wouldn't just take that to stay here longer. Like I knew exactly what I was gonna do, and there was no. I'm not gonna ask for help for like paying my rent.
That's so beautiful.
That in my head, that's like me losing or dying or something.
Exactly. But most people of your age, they ask money from the parents or from DO, the Dutch
government,
who gives you money for your study, and they will fucking spend it on alcohol, beer, going on a holiday with friends. And you had a vision and you had a mission, and you just lend that money to realize that dream and that goal. And I think it worked out pretty well, right?
Yeah, well, there's still a long way to go, right? And that's where we are now. Like, I met, for instance, him. So, I don't know, have you told a bit of your backstory where you are now? Just for context. You run your agency now.
Yeah.
And, like, pretty successful agency, a lot of clients, a lot of work. So, he met me when I was just starting out with my agency. So, a lot of good insights, of course. And that's where we are now, like, in my journey, it's like I met cool people like Yannick, who are now, like, kind of showing me the whereabouts and what to focus on and stuff, which is like very, like, if you want to go somewhere, find people that do what you want to do and listen to them. Just do what they say. And also look at where these people are. Like, let's say you want to become a painter, then maybe Bali is not the best place, but maybe there's some artsy place in France where a lot of painters gather. So go to that place and talk to painters and see if you can get an apprenticeship or something, right? Go find people that can help you get to that next level, that are already doing it. It will like fast track your whole journey. And yeah, you are now just starting with the content. That's where you are in your journey. He has already built a successful business and now wants to inspire other people. So we're kind of like
the opposite.
Like, the opposite. I'm building my business and kind of now comfortable with the content, but content is always just figuring it out, right? And you are kind of successful in business, right? And then figuring out the content. So it's a cool balance, and that's like how we ended up here together, right?
Yeah, I don't know. And that's exactly what Bali is doing. Like when you're in the Netherlands, you have your group of people you already know, and most people are not aligned anymore with how you view the world. And if you go to a place like Bali, so many new people are here who have the same vision about life, business, the world. I don't know, it's so beautiful, and you can just visit those places and put yourself in those circles. You don't have to stay at one place.
No.
You're free to go. Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, if you're serious about what you are trying to do, I don't know what it is, then at some point you have to go all in. And I think that going all in also means like taking some risks like this. So the sooner you are willing to take these risks, the sooner you are going to be able to reach your goals. So whether that is going to Bali or whether that is quitting that job and just starting your YouTube channel, like, that's already a huge hurdle for people even. Like, starting a YouTube channel. Come on, guys. Are you trying to do something? Or are you scared of what other people are going to say and think? I mean, you have to take these risks. And maybe a risk seems small for us, but it's very big in your head. That's your battle to get over. And then you have to take them, otherwise you're never going to get to where you want. And the pain of regret is way bigger than the pain of doing something and getting over it now.
Exactly, and don't wait for the perfect moment, because 7 years ago I was already thinking about documenting everything, and I'm doing it now, like 7 years later. If I did it, I said it in the first video. That would be amazing. That would be crazy.
You would have probably been one of the guys I would have found out when I dropped out of like school, and then I would have like stuck onto it religiously.
Exactly. So if you see this and you're 20 years old, just start. Just begin.
That's what I say.
Just do it.
It's so important. Like, personal brand these days is like a big differentiator.
Yeah, and not only that, it's just, I don't know, I like to see life as a movie, right? So
you're basically making your own movie.
Yeah, you can write your own script. And most people are living the script of someone else.
Yeah, it's true.
Because they feel too much pressure, and they are writing, and they are following. And I don't know, it's way... Joe...
Okay, we're back. Yeah, so are you living your own movie? That's right. That's a good question. If you're like, no, this shit's boring, then bro, you probably need to
fix it.
You need to change something. It's very true. Yeah,
so much can change in a short period of time, because I'm already doing this for 8-9 years, but 2 years ago I felt like shit as well. But I was living life on my own terms, but still I was kind of stuck. Like, I thought I had it all, because I had my dream car, I had a office, I had a good salary, I had everything I ever dreamed of, but still, I didn't.
It was empty.
I wasn't happy. And after my 7-year relationship broke up, then I really got really got me thinking, like, what do I really want? Like,
Yeah.
I was crying in my beautiful car.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? What is this?
Yeah,
Like, and then I made the decision to just go somewhere else. Like,
Yeah.
I was always in the same place. I didn't meet new people.
Yeah.
I was a little bit antisocial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I went to Portugal, and then my whole life
Yeah.
changed. Like, everything improved.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I really encourage everyone who is in their 20s to just go.
Yeah.
Go to a different country, meet new people, see new cultures. Like, for example, if you see Bali people,
Yeah.
it's a whole new mindset.
Yeah, it's
you're
true.
seeing.
It's very true, yeah.
And if you never see it, you see it on Instagram, it's different.
Yeah.
You see the people here building the villas, right?
Yeah, yeah.
On bare feet.
They're sleeping in
They're
the
sleeping in the villa.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a good,
perspective.
perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives you a good perspective because
Yeah.
it's so easy to see your problems as big problems, but if you compare it to their problems, it's,
Yeah,
it's
it's
nothing.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's something I'm trying to do more, putting things into perspective.
Yeah. Bali is a perfect place to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. And for me, I wasn't very traveled. Like, we were like a typical Dutch family that went to the south of France every year.
Yeah.
So coming here was like a huge culture shock for me. That probably added to all the...
Yeah.
I didn't... But it is true. And like, in your 20s, like Yannick says, it's the time to take risks. Like, you can fall 1,000 times
Exactly.
and stand up
You
1,000.
don't have a home. You don't have children.
Yeah.
It's
true.
Yeah. Try to do this when you have 3 children.
It's scary to me. Like, I see, and that's again maybe why I'm coming back to why am I making these decisions and why did I quit school and stuff. When I look at like when I look at like someone behind a counter, I'm scared to death to be there. Like, I'm like,
In that
"Whoa."
position.
Yeah. I'm like, this is so scary to me.
Yeah.
So from in my head, also building a business sometimes gets to me because I'm like, this needs to work because otherwise it's like dying to me or something. I don't know. I've not really figured out how I can express this thought yet, but maybe when I grow some more I can express that better. But for me, I don't know. It feels like life and death. I don't know why.
Black and white.
Yeah, it's like
if you don't do this, then it will be this.
Then it will all be like over. So I put a lot of pressure on myself, which is probably
But that's good.
the reason why like
need
it's
it.
going quicker and I make these decisions. But that also like sometimes I need to put things a bit into perspective. But hey,
Yeah.
it's a journey, right?
I think you always ask for advice, right? To
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
And I think everyone is saying to you like, just do you.
Yeah, that's
Everyone is saying, just keep doing what you're doing because
Yeah.
you have this, I don't know, perfect mindset of becoming very successful.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. Yeah.
He's that annoying guy in a restaurant like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? But it's good. It's good.
But listen, that's how I met some of the most influential people.
Exactly.
Like I said about the brand, that's how I approached the guy that then did the ads and showed me that it's possible to do
and
advertising
he's
for the
fixing
brand.
it for you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he is now a good friend and he's helping me out, giving me advice. And he was like doing Facebook ads, right? I hit a wall with my brand. I didn't know how to do Facebook ads.
And you
So
saw
I
someone.
thought I went to in Bali, and then I was in this food place and I saw someone doing Facebook ads. So my initial reaction was, let's go to him. And I just ticked him, and he was in a meeting. He was like, what do you want?
But that's such a good trait, and you see
trait, yeah.
within all successful people, like impulse, boom,
Boom,
go.
yeah.
In 5 seconds.
Yeah.
In 5 seconds, you have made that decision.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about it because most people are thinking too much, are too much in
Yeah.
their head. For example, okay, I'm gonna make a YouTube video.
Yeah.
I'm thinking how I'm going to. It's becoming such a big thing in their head, and
Yeah.
then it will become scary,
Yeah.
and that's what I had. Like
And when you do that, you don't. When you think, you don't.
exactly.
Like if you think, should I walk up to this girl? Then it's already too late because you're not going to.
it's bam,
Yeah,
split second.
you should just do it. And then don't think, like,
It's the same as waking up. 5-second rule.
yeah.
If you wake up, bam,
I struggle with that one sometimes.
out of bed. If you go out of bed, it's easy. But if you're laying 5 seconds, and you're
It's
like,
true.
oh, it's so
Yeah,
comfy.
it's true.
Yeah,
It's very true.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah, and I mean, why not? I mean, you don't know what you're. In my head, it's like opportunity cost. Like, I'm not losing anything when I don't talk to like this guy here that does Facebook
can,
ads. But the opportunity cost
Yeah.
is I don't know how to do Facebook ads. If I don't talk to this person, then I lose that. Like, I lose that. So it's like, I don't know. For me, it's, and I'm not like looking at everyone like this
In a
and that. No.
transaction, no.
But I'm naturally just a social guy, and I thought that would be the way for me to fix my, like, to
But
get better,
it's okay.
to make new friends and change my environment. Because I don't want to be around people that don't really do anything. So whether that's this or that, or like if you do cool shit, then it's cool shit. If we can help each other, we can help each other.
Build together.
Yeah, it's
easier than
Yeah.
more fun than alone.
Yeah. And it
Definitely.
will bring you further too, right? Like, it's funny that he was helping me with my agency, and he was thinking about content, like you said, for 7 years. And then we met each other, and
It's
maybe
just,
that would have been maybe that was a trigger for you to even start.
I think if I didn't meet you that day,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't making these videos.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. So you see, it's like,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't know, it gives you such a powerful feeling when you're doing something which is uncomfortable at first, but now it's easy for me.
Yeah, that's
Like,
good.
I'm still
Yeah.
figuring out how am I making these videos, how can I make a good storyline, and
Yeah.
how can I reach the perfect audience.
Yeah.
That's still a thing, but sitting in front of this camera, talking to this camera,
Yeah.
it's easy now, and it was such a big thing for me.
yeah, exactly.
But one thing that is still a big thing for me is just walking in public,
Yeah.
vlogging. If Putu, for example, my videographer, is with me, I don't give a shit. But when I have this vlogging, I feel I don't know. I feel like
I think it's because your frame in your
it's
head.
an image.
Yeah,
I don't
Because
like.
you see yourself as a vlogger.
Yeah,
That's a problem, because no one thinks about you. But
No.
because you think yourself, it's a problem.
exactly.
A tip for people like you, at home that are watching, if you want to meet people like Yannick, right? Because that's a common question. How do I meet people? We just explained how I met people. But basically, figure out how you can deliver value to people. Because if I would have just taken from Yannick, then at some point he was like this is draining, right? You drain someone. You have to, like, there has to be a balance in every relationship, I think.
Yeah.
So this, like, I figured out, okay, Yannick has this, he wants to progress with his content. So what we did was we did a 30-day, every day I look at his videos, like, right, I can help Yannick. And that way we help each other. And it isn't a one-way relationship, which will most of the time, like, hit a wall.
It's give and take.
Yeah, so if you want to meet people, figure out how you can deliver value. Whether that is find someone that is where you want to be and work for them for free. Whether that is you are good at making TikToks. Make TikToks for these people for free. Like, don't be scared to work for free. Deliver value, and it has to return. Like, that's just law. Like,
I have a good example for this. You met Dan, right? Dan Sebastian. He lived here as well. He lived in that room.
yeah.
And what he did, he started videography, and he was just a construction. How do you say?
Construction company.
Yeah, he was working there, but he didn't like that at all. So he was starting his videography hobby, and then he just sent a message to a coach.
Yeah.
I think it was Bas Bultz. I
Yeah.
don't know if you know him. And he didn't have any experience at all, but he was just saying like, "Hey, Bas, if you need some videos, I will do it for free.
Yeah.
And you can just have it. You can do anything with it."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, cool. We have an event this Saturday, so you can join."
Yeah.
And from that connection, someone else who had a mastermind in Bali invited him to Bali to make videos for him.
Yeah.
But he was just starting out. But he went to Bali, everything was paid for him, and he ended up staying here.
Yeah.
He had a relationship, he had a job, and he quit both, like the relationship and the job, while in Bali. And that's just a perfect example. Like, put yourself out there, give some value, and your life can change in ways you can't even imagine. Like, this story is crazy, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's true. Figure out how to deliver value. And then you can meet people further than you. Because you cannot just expect to rock up to like a business event and be like, like,
I'm the man,
Yeah,
and everyone wants to talk to me.
No. People, like, players will recognize that. Like, they will be like, this is not a player. So they will not want to be around you, right? People that are further than you. If you can figure out and show that you are also like them, then they want to help you. Like, it's always like that. So, yeah, deliver value.
Yeah. And always be down to earth. Like, there's nothing worse than some guy who's trying to get something from you and he's like,
yeah, there's a lot of people like that. I don't like that. But you also attract what you, like, you attract what you radiate, right?
Oh,
so
for sure.
If you want to be around cool people and you act all like this, you're not going to be around like cool people.
No.
You're going to be around weird people.
Yeah.
Like,
that's it. Okay, cool. So what's next? What are the next steps? So you just moved to Bali again from Dubai. I think For how long are you staying, and what is the plan?
Yeah. The plan now is to stay like 2 months, and then go to somewhere else, and then maybe come back. I don't know yet. I'm basically just seeing what makes sense.
Day by day.
So if it makes sense to go back, if it's fun, if I also met my girlfriend here, which is also something you go into the world and. Yeah, by the way, that's someone I met outside. I walked up to her.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just
it's,
hey.
Yeah, yes. That's how I met my girlfriend. That's how I
Met most people.
met most people here. That's how I went through a breakthrough in the brand. You know? But
yeah, you're one connection away from
from
literal-
whatever. Yeah.
a breakthrough. Exactly.
So we'll see what makes sense. Now I was in Dubai, was a bit isolated, so I was like, I need to have the social connections again. And luckily my girlfriend also owns her own business, so we were like, let's go back to Bali. We can do it together. That's fun. And just building my business. Right now, I'm still putting a lot of effort into the brand and creating new products for the community. So it's a brand and a community. You can look it up. It's called Exchange Life. And on the side, it's kind of like 50-50. I'm probably spending 50% in the agency and 50% in the brand and community. And this year, I want to see how much I can take, how far I can get the brand and the community. Make these different products, see how far I can bring them, while my agency keeps me afloat with like multiple clients. But it's not like this year I realized 20 clients. Like I'm just gonna grow it naturally, so it can keep me afloat and can support what I'm doing, while I'm trying like these different products for the brand and community.
Yeah.
And then I want to decide, okay, this is how I'm exactly gonna do it. This is, okay, maybe I need to sack one off or the other, or see what way to go.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna crush it.
You think so?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I'm gonna document it, so I am documenting.
Yeah, I think this is a good way to end. I don't know for how long we have been talking, but
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna post this full thing. It's a good conversation.
yeah,
Nice.
it was a good conversation.
Yeah, it was
we are
very
going
good.
to do this more often, obviously,
Yeah.
because instead of doing the meetings, we are just going to
Yeah.
sit down.
Now it's a bit of context. Maybe it's also fun to next one talk a bit about you.
Yeah,
See how you got here, what you're doing, and then we have like a two-part intro.
yeah. Maybe. Yeah, that's.
So we have like a two-part intro,
Yeah.
and then we can go from there. I think it's a fun thing. And
Yeah.
now these intros very long, right? We have stories, but then we can do them a bit more concise.
Yeah.
Maybe next, or let us know. Like,
What do you like?
What do you
see?
like? What do you think?
Yeah, the thing is, like, everyone is on the internet space is putting out this information, and it's very technical and
Yeah.
advanced. I just want to show people who are in that tipping point, right?
Yeah.
And you're just a perfect example. Like, just fucking do it, man.
Yeah.
Don't think about it.
Yeah.
5 seconds. Boom,
Yeah, it's
bam.
true, it's true.
If you have that impulse, go.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Life will guide you if you go all in.
It must. Like, you must go somewhere. If you just don't stop, like you cannot lose if you don't stop. Because I met this guy today. He's an 8-figure brand owner. I met him in Dubai, and we went for lunch. And I told this to him, and he's like, you should keep this mindset. Like, provide value and don't stop. And then you cannot lose. Because if you keep trying new things, if you keep trying new things, meeting new people, providing value, and you just don't stop, then at some point you're gonna hit that home run. Like, if you just swing enough times, then you're gonna hit the home run.
Exactly.
Like, literally in baseball, if you just swing enough times blindly, at one point you're gonna hit. So you can be a bit more like aimful by looking, but if you just don't quit, then you must win.
I'm reading this book, right? The Straight Line Leadership book.
Yeah.
And they have one distinction in the book, and it's called stopping versus stopping with stopping.
Yeah, okay.
And what they are saying in that specific chapter is, think back to the things you have started, and then think, what if I didn't stop with those things? For example, I played guitar for 6 years. What if I didn't stop playing guitar? How could I play right now?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I want to play that good, but if I was consistent in those other, 15 years, then I could play guitar very, very well, right? So if you put the same mindset in your business, start with it, be consistent, and just don't stop.
Yeah. Then you'll win.
Success is inevitable, man.
Yeah, you'll win.
You will win, eventually.
And it seems like maybe easy or something, but it isn't, right? Like it's very stressful, and it's been.
Don't do this because you want an easy life.
Like the trenches aren't fun. Like
No.
they're hard work, but again, you need to look at what do you want in life, where do you want to go, and then decide on that and enjoy.
Things, hard things, are more valuable than easy things, right?
Yeah. On the long term, always.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm losing weight right now, right? So, if I would have a six-pack within 1 week, would it be that valuable?
Yeah.
No, I'm fucking doing everything 12 weeks long to get that six-pack.
Yeah.
So, because I'm putting in so much effort, if I have it, then I'm very happy with it because there's so much pain. And it's the same with business. Like it's not easy. It's stressful, but the result and the journey itself is just beautiful. It brings more value to your life.
Yeah.
More fulfillment.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think it's cool to create shit.
Yeah.
Create cool things.
Exactly.
Like this.
Yeah.
And hopefully they enjoy it.
Write your own fucking script, guys.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to end it.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy it.
Yeah.
Let us know. Feedback is allowed. Everything. Roast us.
And just give some feedback, and we are going to do this more often. So we will see you in the next one.
Yes.